I'm gonna say this, and this is something that I didn't initially agree with, but as I started thinking more and more, and also having discussions with other fellow Christians, I am wholeheartedly gonna say anime is not right wing. Anime is not right wing. No matter how many times I see people on Twitter say, "Oh, this anime has and this anime is right wing." It may have right wing themes, but the people behind the people who are behind the creators behind these series and properties, they are not right wing. They are just a mild flavor of liberal who know how to tell stories and don't let their personal biases get in the way. But anime in itself and the theme and many of the themes that it likes to present and share are pretty liberal, all things considered.
I don't see how an art style can be right wing or left
We're
wing
talking about the
inherently.
medium.
I
We're talking
know.
about the medium here,
I
not
know.
just the art style. When I say anime, I'm talking about like the medium. I should also clarify manga as well, anime and manga.
You're talking about the kind of the themes that are portrayed in the stories that are written
No, no, no.
and
Still,
shown
still
using
not
anime
clear
and
enough. Are
manga.
you talking about the majority of people who make this stuff?
Yes, yes, I'm
Okay.
talking about the people who make the stuff and the themes that they put then the themes that they put into their stories.
Okay. Because I find it funny that I'm the only one of us who's not autistic, and even I had an autistic approach to this. I'm like, wait, you're talking about the entire thing? Like, how is that inherently right or left? That didn't make any
But the
sense to
reason
me.
why the reason why people would find that to be a hot take, especially among like right-wing anime fans, is that they don't know how to actually like they say they're noticers, but I don't really believe that. Some of their other habits tell me that they are looking for themes that are like they might be there, but not in like the way that you're thinking they are there.
Yeah.
Maybe not as prevalent as they're trying to make it out to be.
Yeah. I have a
Of a
few
few
funny
cases,
things to say about this. So, um, unless you had an important thought there, try.
yeah, I just wanted to highlight that even in instances where there were certain anime and manga series that were actually right wing, those would be exceptions that prove that general rule.
Yes.
Yeah, exceptions always prove the rule. So, speaking of exceptions, yeah, I think you certainly can have meaningful, in every sense of the word, stories through anime. I like I
Yeah, it
forget.
doesn't mean that it's bad. Like I'm not saying it's bad because it
I know
isn't inherently right
I
wing.
wasn't saying that either. Um, but I
Okay.
forget his
Sorry.
name. I forget his name, but the guy who made Spirited Away. I like his stories.
Miyazaki?
Yeah, I like his stories. I think they're generally good stories, and that's anime. Did he also make? Oh, what's it called? I own
He
this
made a bunch
movie.
of things.
I own this movie, and I still don't remember what it's called. It's like it's about the forest. There's like a spirit of the forest.
Spirited Away.
That's not it. I'm gonna go
Or is
see
it
it.
My Neighbor Totoro? It's one of those two.
No, no, no. I'm gonna go look.
Yeah, I'm kind of out of the loop on this one. The only two films from Studio Ghibli I've actually seen in full, actually three, are Howl's Moving Castle, Ponyo, and Tales from Earthsea.
Okay, it's called Princess Mononoke.
Okay. Oh my goodness, I am retarded.
Yeah, I was like, Spirited Away. That does not sound right. Princess Mononoke. I don't think that's made by the same guy, but that's also a good story, in my opinion. So yeah, anime can be good. It can have right wing messages. But yeah, generally it's almost as left wing as you can get without being straight up illegal. Like everyone, like for example, my ex-wife when I was with her. This is when I first really noticed that anime has these tendencies. But so like she was really, probably still is, really, really into fairy tale. Have you guys heard of that?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. And that's how I learned about Urza, and she's like my biggest fictional crush. That's how I learned about Urza, like, because Brooke was really, really into fairy tale. But with things like fairy tale, but also just anime in general, because she watched several different animes, and they all had this general theme of like, these are either teenagers or they're adults that look like teenagers. But no matter what, they're always hypersexualized.
Oh, don't get me started on lolly fits. Don't get me
And
started on that.
like in
I mean,
fairy
I
that's
made
tale,
an hour-long video about that.
Scurvy, that's more or less, that's kind of the far end of what he's getting at here, but continue, Ark.
but yeah, I'm not terribly familiar with that, and that's why honestly I didn't watch your video, because I'm not terribly familiar with it. But with fairy tale, just as an example, there's not really a single main character with that story. It's an ensemble. It's like 20 different main characters at once, but all of the females have like enormous jugs, enormous, like all of them, that they all have perfect figures and a huge bust. And I remember asking my ex-wife when we were together, I'm like, why do they all have these features? And she didn't really have an answer for that. But I was just like, it's just unrealistic. This is not what most women look like, but this is what fairy tale portrays basically all women as. Like all women are perfect tens. Exaggerated.
In
10s.
a way, it is in a way, it's a fantasy. Like partially the reason why a lot of female anime characters look the way they do is one, because majority of the readers of manga are male. Same with most consumers of anime; they are male, and
Yeah.
guys do like to look at that. But a thing that I notice when that's all there is to it, it's just like the story suffers because it seems to be more focused on just showing off sexualized female characters, but it's like
But it's also
you're
the
not
males
telling
too.
you're not telling a good story.
It's also the
Yeah, it's
males
just
too. I
fan
noticed like
service.
they always have like 8-packs. They always have maybe not big muscles, but they at least have they're toned in their own masculine way. Like the men look perfect as well, and they're not fully clothed either. So it goes both ways. And that's most of anime, I would notice. Like fairy tale is just the one that made me realize that this happens across all of anime, basically. But
Well, Arch, let me explain the why the guys always look ripped. In regards of like a male reader, it's like, it's like, yeah, this guy looks good. It's like it's mainly to inspire like young men to like get it, like get in shape, become like physically fit. Because let's be real, there's not many female readers of shonen, specifically shonen. They have, women have their own genre. It's called, it's called shoujo. The men look a bit more realistically proportioned. They're not like, hyper muscular. Same with the women too. I noticed shoujo, the proportions are a bit more like natural, but that has its own things too. It's like most of the shoujo stories are about like, romance, which that's a good thing. I do think that is a good thing that most shoujo stories are about romance, but it could get a little bit too female power fantasy almost. Not in regards of like the fights, but just like the hold that she has over the main male lead, the main female lead over the male main lead.
yeah, there's a lot of that in the
us,
stories.
I don't think any of us really disagrees with the original point. So,
I thought I would have got some pushback there. I know
it's not something I've really noticed, Scurvy. I'll give you that. So, yeah,
I just
that is to say, I don't disagree.
gotcha. I could also get into some I could also get into some further details, but it would piss off the anime fans who might be watching it more than you guys. So I mean, I was gonna say the fact that the lolicons are really starting to infiltrate the right wing movement is of concern. But I guess I could get to that after you guys are done giving your takes, because that's something I could talk. Oh, actually, that might be a future video.
Oh, since we're on the topic, you're familiar with the inverse of that problem, because I did watch your video, so I know you're aware of this issue.
Shotokan, yes.
How prevalent? Not because I want to look for any of this stuff, mind you, but I hear a lot about the lolicon community, not a lot about the Shotokan community. Are they just smaller generally, or do they know how to keep to themselves more so than not?
It's both, but the Shotokans are starting to get a bit more vocal because they see their male counterparts get away with saying with all the shit that they say, and they feel like it's like, oh, it's my time to shine. But they also have to and kind of like to keep things on the down low to try to make themselves look more virtuous, quote unquote, somehow, even though the Shotokans, I would argue, are much more degenerate than lolicons. But let's be real, they're both absolutely degenerate.
But the Shotokans are at least smarter about it, it seems.
Yeah, they even though Shotokans are majority women, which is that says something, but that's a whole other rabbit hole right there.
Sorry,
It's all right.
Really off topic now. That was my bad.
I don't know what the hell
right.
these terms are that you're using. However, I did have an epiphany about the subject of anime while we've been talking about this. So it's not entirely off topic. And I think I actually figured out kind of by accident in the last couple of minutes why, and I don't mean this as an insult, guys, why autistic people like anime so much. I think it's because just the art style alone is very childlike. It's a very childlike depiction of reality. Bright, vibrant colors, exaggerated movements, no matter what's happening. And I can't really think of a single anime I've ever seen or heard of that I would classify as like, this is adult. They always seem to be geared toward all ages, and they're really pushing that. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
that might be the reason. Yeah, so if that's true, if my theory's correct, yeah, inherently anime can't be right wing for just by its nature not being realistic.
Well, I know there's the seinen genre that is a bit more on the mature, very much on the mature end. I mean, don't get me started on Berserk. It's like the imagery in Berserk is naturally some of it is going to be exaggerated. Like when it comes to like Guts swinging his giant ass sword, it's like the swings are going to be exaggerated to show just how much force is being put into the strike.
I'm actually going to kind of build upon what you're saying here. Well, more so allude to what you're getting at. If I may add on to your realization here, Argyosophy, because what Scurvy's getting at here is there are certain anime and manga that are solely geared to adults, and it's more often than not very unsubtle about it. The conclusion I came to regarding this topic, it is actually something we've talked about kind of casually before, and I don't remember, Scurvy, if you're we agreed to have an entire separate.
I might need to pause you because I'm not saying they're all for children. I'm not saying that like they're cartoons. They're just your average cartoons. I'm actually saying they are geared for adults who have minds more geared like children. And again, I'm not trying to be insulting. I'm really not, just being honest here.
No.
From what I've seen, from autism is that it seems to be either part of your brain didn't finish developing or didn't develop at all. Like there's something stunted about your brain there, and anime seems to appeal to that. Like you cannot perceive all of reality accurately.
And I wasn't going to disagree with
hold on.
anything you said on the matter. I am, however, expanding upon it because I don't think it is solely that. Well, first of all, to kind of emphasize what you were just talking about now, a lot of how anime is written is very unsubtle, just outright. Like it seems to be an Achilles heel for Japanese writers to not explicitly show or tell certain events in their stories. Very, very few seem to actually be able to handle their writing with the finesse of a good Western writer. But to go back to the original point I was making about that lack of subtlety, anime characters, their emotions are very, very easy to read. Like, as in they're naturally so exaggerated, given the nature that they're in, that there is no mistaking what a character is feeling at that moment. And something that a lot of autists, definitely myself, I can assure you, struggle with is reading people. And not in any kind of, not as a reading people skill set sort of way, but just as a regular communicating with people sort of a way. Like the lack of picking up social cues, for example.
Yeah, everything in anime is exaggerated, and I kind of think if you were to summarize what anime is in one word, it would basically be that it's exaggerated art. Men, they're exaggerated, physique. They're really strong, really fit. The women have huge chests. All the emotions they're screaming while they're crying. And when they're crying, it's like a waterfall coming out of their eyes. Like everything is exaggerated. And that might be the appeal. Just a theory.
I will say,
and for that reason,
I will say the Japanese series that I feel like actually, and I've had this epiphany about the Guilty Gear series in particular. That's what this is about. It's not necessarily anime. It's an anime fighter. It's a video game series, though it does have an anime series. But basically, what I noticed about the characters is that most of them are some form of socially awkward, which is like, oh, that's great. Whenever a new character comes out, I get to see, oh, how is this character like me? It's like, in what way is this character socially awkward? It's kind of refreshing to see characters who are a bit more on the weird side, who it's like, oh wow. Even though these characters are all pretty strong, it's just like they have a hard time talking to people. That for some of them, that hasn't stopped them from getting bitches.
To be fair, Scurvy, that's not necessarily a appealing to autist thing. That's very much anyone who can relate to being that way can find appeal in that. It's a bit more broad.